Alright, we're going to get on with phase 2 of this project. The gyro rear fender has been modified so that it will work with the left rear tire. I'll show you. This is how much that you need to take off. Let's see if I got a good backlight against some something dark so you can see. Let's see if I pull it. Oh hell, I don't know. Maybe this. No, that won't work. Let's see. Maybe over here. This is cut out maybe an inch across the bottom, inch across the top, and it's slightly bent. This is the cutout where the rear tire on the left side will go through, and this is right by the exhaust. Now that's ready to go. Maybe I can put a little patch over that so it doesn't hit the tire. And I'm going to put it on for the I'm going to put it on permanently. But before I do that, in order to get down in here with the exhaust, first of all I had to order another exhaust gasket. This is really a weird looking one. What this is a brass or copper gasket that it crushes when you get it tight. You want to get everything clean in here. You also want to put a little bit of white grease right there on your threads, and we put the gasket right there. And it's best, honestly, if you put a new one on every time you take off the exhaust, but it's just not possible to do that. As long as you put the gasket back in the same place and not have it turn around it or anything, then it'll work pretty good right there. So we've got a little white grease on the nuts. These are the 4 bolts that hold the canopy on. I'll put the canopy on, then I'll put the exhaust piece on, exhaust pipe, and I'll leave all this open until the last minute so I can make damn sure that that line right there, that brown line is coming from the oil pump and it's going to the inside of the carburetor intake, and that right down there goes to the cylinder right there. I have to make sure that that's pumping oil, because if it's not pumping this oil within about the first 10 minutes I fry the motor, and I only got myself to blame. So we go from there. Now before I put the rear canopy on, since I've taken this off like in January or before, I kind of forgot what I was doing. So I decided to put on this piece, which is the back panel, and the little Honda emblem here. Now this is what I meant by make sure that when you lay your pieces down, when this is turned down the other way, I mean on its edge right here, that you get these edges real good with paint and clear. Because if the corresponding piece, which is right there, if that fits in right here, then this edge is going to show. And if it does show and you don't have it painted, you can't take it back out and redo it. It's just too much work. So when you go to paint and when you go to clear, make sure you clear about 1 inch all the way inside here. And that's going to look real nice. That's the new Honda sticker right there, the new yellow. And I have another one coming in for the front. The Brad Kaplan was nice enough, he made these others, to send me some the very front decal that didn't come with the kit, because he doesn't have a gyro and he didn't know exactly how many stickers there were. Now I'll take the canopy and I'll put it on, and I'll put the 1200 degree heat paint muffler on, and then I'll stop back here and I'll start to work on the front. Now I have the back canopy on for the final time, and the little bike is really starting to take shape, but I just want to be very careful. If you look down here, I think you can see where that flashlight is. You can see where I've made the cut right here. Well, you can't see it that well with that flashlight. Anyway, it clears the tire right there, if you can see I can't reach down there and get it. That's a little chunk I took out. There you go. That's perfect right there. See the little chunk I took out to get the tire to clear? And I don't think that's going to hurt a thing. So now what I'll do is take my exhaust pipe, and what I like to do is get the 2 prongs and put them on back here, because the pipe weighs about 10 or 11 pounds, so you don't want the grabbing tines to fall on your pieces here. So I will set them in down on those 2 studs in there, and I will put them on the back here and get these on first, and then I'll have to reach under the canopy to tighten it up. Now this is how we're doing so far, and I want to give a tip to gyro owners, is that you can see this exhaust has 1200 degree or 2000 degree heat paint on it. I also had a small area right here. I don't in my earlier videos you can see it, but this was a really rough not rust, but a welding spot. So what I did is, since you can see this from the outside, I came in and fixed it so it looks really nice. But there are 2 little tiny 8mm bolts, one right down here, and there's one on the other side, if you can see. Yeah, right down there if you can see it. The best way to get at both of these, and since I'm using a new gasket, I have to crush both of them at the same rate to give it an even crush. But what you want to use is you want to use a 1/4 inch socket or drive, an extension, and then you want to use a universal on the end right here, and you'll thread it down right through here and get on this side. You'll thread it down right through here, and you'll come right over here, and then use your fingers underneath right down here to guide the socket onto this side of the bolt, right where my finger is. And then of course you have the 2 of them back here, and these should be put on first loosely. This one here and this one, because this muffler weighs probably 11-12 pounds, I don't know, 5 or 6 kilos, I don't know how many stones. But you don't want it crashing on your nice new brand new fender. And then I will leave this top off until I get done, because I'm going to have to adjust the oil pump and to make sure it's working okay. And then I'll have to get the this cover on, and this cover is a real bitch to get on when this is here. I don't know why. I mean, I may have to take it all off and put it back together that way, but it's all right. That's all right. No problem. But as you can see, the gyro is coming together, and when you work on a project like this, what you want to do is you want to envision what it's going to look like when it gets done. Before you start, you're painting everything else, and then just follow through with the steps on what you see is going to be in the end, and it'll turn out that way. Like with the yellow gyro emblems right there. See, that's a nice one up there. And then Brad is going to send me, this is the only one he didn't send me right here. This is a stock one, and I'm going to leave it on here. It's a stock gold. Brad didn't have this one because he didn't know it existed, so he's going to kick me one and I'll give it a try. That clearly looks nice. And that's how the gyro looks from the back. And what I'll do after I get the exhaust pipe on tomorrow, which it's on, but I'll tighten it up, I'll begin to get all the cables all set back up, and then I'll do all the wiring. So the little gyro is really coming together, and I think it's going to be just a great winter project.